We are going to spend a full day reading graphic novels, and I genuinely could not be more excited about it because I started reading graphic novels as a way to like make sure I don't get in a book slump. Like I started that I think a few years back, and I haven't really picked up graphic novels like consistently. Like I feel like I only pick them up when I'm like about to be in a slump, which I've never been in a book slump before. Like crossing my fingers, knock on wood, but I always feel like graphic novels get me like re-inspired to read again and get me excited for reading. So I'm like, why do I only pick them up when I'm about to be in a book slump? So I'm going to pick up 3 graphic novels and read them in this video and give you guys my thoughts. I'm also going to give you guys a bunch of graphic novel book recs because I've read so many, and I feel like you guys, if you're wanting to get into graphic novels, you will really like the ones that I share. I also am going to do some book embossing, and I'm going to open some bookish packages. So lots of fun stuff in this video. This is the first book that we're going to read. I haven't ever read anything by these 2 authors, but the inside of the book looks absolutely beautiful. The thing about graphic novels that I love is like you just never know what you're gonna get. Like you're always gonna get something that's like vibrant and beautiful, but like the artists always are so unique and different. So I'm really excited to read this book. This one I think is about a superhero. I think, oh, it says a graphic novel adaptation of the best-selling book. So this was a book before. I've actually done, or I've read a book that was turned into a graphic novel after it was like created into a book, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like it's just like an easier, more digestible way to read something like really, I don't know, in a very like relaxed way. So this is the first book that I'm gonna read. I'm really excited for it. You know, one thing that I absolutely love, whenever I'm reading a book and the book references something from my childhood, it makes me so nostalgic. So in this book that I'm reading, or graphic novel that I'm reading, one of the girls, or the main, I literally can't talk. The main character was talking about how her brother loves reading Animorphs, and I just literally forgot about that series. Does anyone remember Animorphs? I think that's what it was called, where like people would morph into like literal animals, and I think that was like the premise of the story. There's so many good books that I used to read that like just in one ear out the other, like I don't even remember them anymore. But I would love to do like a video reading old books that I used to love. Like I really loved reading Animal Arc books. Like granted that was like middle grade, so like it's not even like the books that I'm necessarily reading now, but I loved Animal Arc. I love like About Alice books by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. Those were all so good. I've gotten even further into this book and I'm already loving it, but it's starting out where the main character wants to tell her parents that she's gay, and whenever she like goes to have that conversation, like I'm literally like shaking in my boots. Like I just want everything to go well. Like I don't know how it's gonna go, and the whole conversation just makes me so sad that people have to experience like, I don't know, other people and their like terrible reactions, their terrible like sense of family, community, love. Like it just makes me so sad because like when she's talking to her family, she's like so nervous, and then whenever she tells them, they're like pretty much just like blowing off, like yeah, like no, like it's not actually like a thing. And then she like kind of puts her foot down and is like, no, like I know how I feel, like. And they still, even after her being so like adamant, like they're still very much dismissing her feelings. And like I just, that has to be so hard. Like just, I don't know, I just literally feel for her already, and I'm only a few pages in. Got me literally about to cry. So her sister goes, listen Juliet, I still love you and crap. Good boyfriends are hard to find, keep trying, and you might find one that lets you play with girls or on the side. Everybody wins. And then her mom was like, there's no lesbians at the table, like this isn't like you're lying kind of thing. And so she was like obviously really upset, and then she gets ready to leave, and I just, oh, I don't want to cry. Oh my god, like not me crying for a graphic novel. the grandma comes out and she goes, Juliet, and she's Puerto Rican. I'm not really sure how to say like the last name. Milagros Palente. She said like her full name. So she goes out and she goes, I love you like the seas, love the moon, whatever you are, wherever you are, love, I'm here. Oh my god. I ended up finishing this book and I really enjoyed it, but I think it also reminded me of how many other graphic novels I've read and how many I love. So I'm going to share with you guys some of the other books that I've read. I think that this book was really cute, and I loved the graphic like colors and stuff of the like artistry, is that what it's called? But I do think that the book itself was definitely, I don't know, it was very like out of my element. Like they talked a lot about auras and like things that I'm like not super familiar with, so I feel like some of it went over my head, but it was a really cute read nonetheless. Again, this made me think of all of the graphic novels that I have read that I really enjoyed. So I'm gonna start with my least favorite to my favorite. So my least favorite, but they're still enjoyable, like all the graphic novels that I've read I've still really loved, was this one. I feel like I really liked this one because it definitely talks about like learning to be okay with who you are, and I honestly think that that's a theme in a lot of graphic novels, and maybe because the time frame is like very much coming of age. Now this one I really loved because it's about a girl who has like superpowers, and I almost feel like there has to be a second book because it kind of left on a little bit of a cliffhanger. But the girl has superpowers and she's like trying to keep them hidden, but she just wants to help people, so she has a really hard time with that. I love this, and I feel like I would have ate this up whenever I was younger. And this one is called Nubia Real One by Elle McKinney and Robin Smith. And then this is called Belle of the Ball by Maria Costa. And I will link all of these below if you guys want to pick up any of these. Then I read Eat and Love Yourself by Eat and Love Yourself. Is it by Sweeney Boo? I don't know if that's like the author, but I also really like this one. This one talked a lot about disordered eating, and this was something that I really struggled with whenever I was younger. Still struggle with to an extent, but I feel like this would have been such a great book for me whenever I was in like middle school or high school, because like the main character is just like so mousy, so quiet. Like she wants to be like, she doesn't want to bring any attention to herself ever, and so you really root for her to kind of like find a backbone to figure out like her dynamic with eating, and you really get to see her growth with this book. You also see in this book how detrimental it can be to let trauma like from family or friends really fester, because a lot of her struggles kind of go back to that. And then I also read If You'll Have Me by Uni. I really love this book because it, like, for one, the artwork in this book I think is the most beautiful artwork I've probably ever read of pretty much any graphic novel. This one is also about a character who is kind of like more quiet, more shy. She wants to be in the background, wants to be hidden, and she really finds her voice in this book. And she meets someone who she really admires and kind of aspires to be. Like their personality is what she would want, but she feels like maybe that personality wouldn't work for her. So she like really looks up to them and starts to try to kind of pick up on their traits. I really love that one. So coming in number 2 is Heartstopper. I feel like this one could have been number 1. Actually, maybe it is number 1. I don't know. I'll put both of these at like the same ranking. I rated this one 4 stars, and I rated the next one I'm going to share with you 3.5 stars. But I think I rated the other one 3.5 stars because it was my very first graphic novel. So I didn't really have anything to compare it to. And now that I've read other graphic novels, I'm like, oh, okay, I definitely want to go back to the other book that I'm going to share. But this one, I really loved it. It was just beautiful, like so beautiful. I feel like the characters are really enjoyable to read about. They share their queer story, but they also share so many things that they go through and how they navigate through life and their friendships and their family and how hard and how fun life can be. And this is just, again, an incredible series. Rated this one 4 stars and love the rest of the series as well. And then the last book is Watch Day Diaries. This book is so underrated. I think that, again, this was the first graphic novel that I ever read, so I didn't really have anything to compare it to. So comparing a graphic novel to a real book, like, not a real book, but like a book that is like a traditionally published book is kind of hard to do. So I didn't have any other comparison, and I feel like these stories super fleshed out in this book, and they really give the characters so much life in their own stories. But it is about 4 different characters, so I kind of wanted a little bit more of each character, and I think that that was why I was like, oh, it's 3.5, it's really enjoyable, but like it didn't really hit the 4-star range. But now that I think back on it, I just loved it so much. Like, I don't know if I would change the rating to 4 stars, like maybe. I almost wish there was a book 2, because I wanted so much more from the characters because I love them so much, and that's like such a good sign that you're like loving the book. But it's about 4 girls, and it's all told, the story's all told over their like hair chronicles. So they're washing their hair, they're doing their hair, and you see that that is like very much a cultural like thing where you go to the hairdresser, you go to the barber shop, and like people are telling stories. And this is kind of similar to that, but also the friends are so close that when one person goes through something, they all go through it, and you really get to see that in this book. And this is by Jamila Rouser and Robin Smith, and this is the same illustrator as another one of these books. I think it's the same as this one, yeah, Nubia. So also, the illustrations are absolutely beautiful. And then Heartstopper is by Alice Oseman. But definitely pick up Wash Day Diaries if you haven't yet. I love this graphic novel. Truly one of my favorites. It definitely shows how different friendships can be, but also how uniting they can be. And they all, again, have their own separate stories. One of the friends, she really struggles with depression, and her friends are trying to be there for her. Another one, she's going through it with this guy. It is just so true to friendship, and like you get to see their group chat, and like they go off in the group chat, and it's literally feels like you're hanging out with actual friends. So loved all of these. These are definitely my favorites that I've ever, not that I've ever read, I think that these are the only ones that I've ever read, but I own so many more graphic novels, but I, again, feel like I don't pick them up nearly enough because I'm always just like, oh, well, like, I'll read something else. But like, I love graphic novels, so I need to pick them up more. So that's one of my goals for the rest of this year, is to maybe try to pick up like 1 a month or something. Like, I just have so much fun whenever I read them. The book that I was reading, or the graphic novel, and it was so cute. I want to give you guys like a little bit of an update in a second. I'm putting away books because I made a little video for TikTok with like book recs for the summer, and you guys can go like watch there, or you can watch on Shorts. I try to make like short little videos that can be like digestible and not like super, doesn't take you like a long time to get through. I've also been making like a lot of other bookish videos about like home decor, cozy bookish nooks and things like that, and I hope you guys have been I hope you guys have been enjoying those. Speaking of videos, I need to know, do you guys like long videos and having like, I don't know, less videos from the person you're watching, or do you like shorter videos and more videos? Because I've had 3 videos a week for like literally since like I think 2019, so it's been like years. But I always want to create, like honestly I would create like 5 videos a week if I have the time, but I always want to create what I feel like I'm enjoying, but also what you guys are enjoying too. So let me know what you guys enjoy. Like, do you like lots of videos or less videos and longer videos? Like, just let me know, because I've been toying with the idea of like maybe having 2 videos a week and having them each be like an hour long, or having like what I have now, which is like 1 long video and then like 2 short videos and 3 videos a week. So that's kind of been like my thought process. I always want to keep things like current, and again, I've had the same posting consistency for literally like 3 years. So I mean, that's such a long time to kind of have like the same type of schedule. And I don't know why I said 3 years, because between now and 2019, that's definitely way more than 3 years. But I have definitely had the same schedule, the same type of posting, and I feel like in the past I used to have like shorter videos, and now my videos have been getting longer and longer and longer. And I love having long videos. Like, I could literally watch videos like that are an hour long for like the whole week. Like, I'll just watch like 15 minutes here, 20 minutes here, like until the video's over. And that's what I have really been enjoying like over the past like full year. And I don't know, I just need to know what you guys think. I've been toying with that idea. I'm not sure if I want to change that, because I always have so many like fun ideas. And if there's like, you know, 2 videos a week, I'm like, am I gonna be able to like do those fun ideas if I'm only having like 2 videos versus 3 videos a week? But then also part of me is like, I still do book weeks. So I could have like book weeks where I share like more, obviously during those weeks, because I'm posting every day for a full week. I don't know, I love Hangout here. Like, I genuinely love Hangout here so much. And I just feel really grateful that I have all of you guys to hang out with. Like, it feels like I'm hanging out with my best friends every time we do hang out. So I never want to like do that less, but I'm just kind of thinking like, instead of doing it less, it would be the same, but just like longer, if that makes sense. So instead of like 3 30-minute videos, I would have like 2 1-hour videos, if that makes any sense. I don't know, I just think that that would be fun. But I did end up deciding to keep a few of the books that I was going to unhaul. You guys ended up convincing me to keep a few of them, so I want to show you guys the books that I decided to keep. I'm keeping this little stack, and some of you guys were really encouraging that like I was giving up books and like letting them go to free libraries, because I don't know, I just have a different taste in books, and I appreciate that. I always love you guys' encouragement, because the internet can be a wild, wild place. But whenever you guys are sending your messages just encouraging me like, let go of those books, girl, if you don't like them, I was just like, you know what, you're right. You are so right, because if I don't like something anymore, like, I should just let it go, you know? So I think sometimes it's hard to let go of things that we used to be obsessed with, because like a part of me is like, oh, what if I like want to like read that again? But it's like, the library is always available. So thank you guys for your encouragement there. I ended up deciding to keep The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. I do love a fluffy read. I love a fluffy read. I haven't really been in the mood for it lately, but I could definitely see myself getting back into the mood for fluffy reads in the future. And I think in the moment I was just like, I'm not in the mood, like I'm not gonna want to read it. But it's like, literally give me 2 months, I'm gonna be in the mood for it. I read the cheat sheet by this author and really enjoyed it. It was cute, predictable, but again, I do love predictable books sometimes depending on my mood. So really excited to read this one. Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I've never read anything from S.A. Cosby, and so many of you guys said that this was a really good read. And if I go into it, think of it as like less of a thriller and more of like a literary fiction with like a subplot of like a thriller vibe, that I would enjoy it more. So I think I'm gonna go into it with that mindset, versus like going into it as like a true super fast-paced thriller. And I think like when you go into a book, your mindset or like view of what the book is gonna be helps you like enjoy the book more. Like I read, what's it called? Love Song for Ricky Wilde. It's right down here. I read this a while back, and I think if I had went into this book knowing it was gonna have magical realism and like a subplot of romance and historical fiction, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. So I definitely like thank you guys for that little bit of like a little tidbit about the book. I'm also going to keep Educated, because so many of you guys said that this is an incredible book to read. This is also one of Khalila's like favorite books that she's read, I'm pretty sure. And I feel like she always has the best book recs for like literary fiction or contemporary fiction books. So I'm gonna keep this one. I'm also gonna keep Hot for Teacher by Monique Fisher. This is supposed to be a very spicy read. And again, I haven't really been in the mood for a spicy read, but maybe I'll get back in the mood for a spicy read. I do have a lot of spicy books still on my shelf, so it's not that I don't like spice, I just haven't really been in the mood for it right now. So yeah, I definitely am gonna keep that one. I also was thinking about giving away Text Appeal by Amber Roberts, but I also am gonna keep this one as well, just because the storyline looks intriguing. It's about a girl who, she like has a best friend, they've been best friends forever, and she, I think, works at like a call service or something like that, and she's like a sex worker, but she like doesn't want to tell her bestie because she thinks that he like might judge her or something like that. And I think she ends up liking him maybe, and like even wants to keep it a secret even more. So this just looks interesting. I feel like the plot is very different, so I'm excited to read that. Also, one of you guys said I have to read Thank You for Sharing. This is a book that I picked up a while ago, and I had never picked it up to read, and I don't know why. Like, I feel like I'm the type of person where I'll be like, oh my god, that looks so cute, and then I like don't like think about it, and then I'm just like, am I like interested in this book anymore? Like, I don't know. And so I definitely just needed someone to comment and be like, it's so good, I read it, please read it. Because I feel like you guys' comments are what makes me like want to pick up the books that I own. So yeah, I am excited to read that. I also am going to keep Rules of Association because I do have book 1. And if I really enjoy book 1, I feel like I'm going to want to read book 2. But if I don't enjoy book 1, I'll just give book 1 and book 2 to the free library together versus like separate. I mean, who wants to read like book 2 alone, especially when it's like so long? I will say thick books are a little daunting for me, but I still really enjoy them if they're like actually a really good book. So I'm gonna keep that one. Also, I'm gonna keep How to Honeymoon Alone because I was talking about this in my unhaul video, and one of you guys commented and said, oh my god, that book is so cute, you should read it. And then another one of you guys commented in one of my previous videos. I was going through my comments, I try to answer every single one or at least read them all. It's very hard to keep up with them because there are so many of you guys on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and the podcast and all the things, but I really try because like this community means so much to me. So one of you guys in a previous video, I think 2 videos ago, commented and was like, oh, I wanted to give you guys give you a book rec. It's so cute for the summer. It's called How to Honeymoon Alone. And I was like, oh my god, I literally have heard from 2 people in the same week that this is a good book. So I'm gonna keep this and read it for the summer just because you guys said it was good. And then the other book and last book in this haul, or unhaul, like, you know what I'm trying to say. You was gonna be an unhaul and now it's like a haul, I guess. No Filter and Other Lies. One of you guys said that this was a 5-star read for you, and you said that it definitely is a YA book and gives young adult vibes, so go into it knowing that, but you did really love it. So that's literally all I need sometimes. Like, and I don't know if anyone else is like that. Like, all you need is someone to be like, hey, that good book is good, pick it up. Like, I don't know. So I am picking it up and I am going to read this. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I feel like I don't read graphic novels enough, and I really want to get back into reading them at least once a month because they're so enjoyable, so fast paced. I usually finish them in like 30 minutes to an hour, like super fast. I can just like sit and just soak it all in. This has had a really unique storyline, like super cool, and I feel like whenever I'm reading a graphic novel, I kind of want that. Like, I really desire a book that's gonna like make me think differently, or it's gonna have like a new world system, or it's gonna have like, I don't know, something different. And let me know if there are like graphic novels, like fantasy graphic novels, because I almost feel like I would enjoy that more than like a traditional fantasy book, because traditional fantasy books don't have like the visual, but I'm a visual person, visual learner, always have been. So I feel like that's why I love graphic novels. And if a fantasy book had like graphic like pictures and stuff, I feel like I would really like it. So anyway, I'm going to start my 3rd graphic novel, and then I have a little package that I want to unbox with you guys. So we'll come back in and we'll unbox that together. I think you guys are going to really be excited about it. I absolutely loved this book. Like, love this book so much. It's so freaking good. I feel like I like books that mix history with like the actual storyline too. But before I get into this book, let me show you guys my hallway. If you guys haven't seen on TikTok, I redid my hallway. I also showed this on Instagram, but I've been trying to do like bookish projects, and this is one I've been wanting to work on for a while. And you can see like the rug, it's so nice. Like everything pulls together so nicely. I really wanted to find somewhere that would be a good backdrop for like showing you guys my books. And I feel like this is the perfect space, like with the black behind it, and then also like the art and stuff and the pictures and the plants. I feel like it just looks so perfect. And then of course I had to put books down there too. I feel like I have been so close to getting into a book slump, but graphic novels always bring me out of it, like every single time. So if you're ever feeling like you're gonna be in a book slump, definitely read graphic novels. I loved this book so much, and I feel like this is such a beautiful sapphic story because you're seeing the history of like how things have changed, and like it just was so good. I don't know, I feel like there was definitely history in this book, but it just wasn't, I feel like I didn't get like the full picture. I feel like this book gave me the full picture from start to finish of like how the characters felt and all that they went through, and that's exactly what I look for in a book. And this book right here, also loved like the futuristic dimension, very, very cool. So loved all three of these. I will leave my reviews on Goodreads so you guys can look at those. I'm glad I did a video like this. I have two hauls for you guys. Let me put these over here so I don't get those accidentally wet. If you guys have been following me over on Instagram, you guys would have already seen this little unboxing. You guys can see it's already open. I shared it a few days ago, so make sure you're following me there and on TikTok. But I picked up Dear Vicky by Octavia Grant because her books literally hook me. So whenever I feel a book slump coming on, which is kind of what I've been feeling lately, and I've never been in a book slump because I know how to make sure I don't get in one, I always read graphic novels, and then I always read short books. That's like my tried and true, like every single time. After I read a bunch of graphic novels, I'll jump into a bunch of short books, and then I'll jump into some books by my favorite authors. So I might read like The Problem with Players or The Problem with Dating by Brittany Cherry. I might read the Bennett Brothers series by Candy Ryan. Like I love their books. I might read something from Danielle Allen. Like those are my authors that I just like literally will read anything of. I also might read something from Natasha Bishop. Read an auto by author book, and I feel like you'll immediately just realize how much you love reading, how much you missed reading, and want to do more of it. But I'm going to jump into short books now that I'm done with reading graphic novels, because again, this is like my little tried and true recipe for like making sure you don't get into a book slump. And her books are unhinged. Like one of you guys read Work Husband and you were like, wow, this is wild. I'm so glad that I read it just because it was unhinged. And then I have been searching for this book all over. Like, I'm so serious. I didn't think I would find it. I've been searching for this for months. And I own book 1 and book 3. I've already read book 1 and rated it 4.5 stars. It was almost a 5-star for me. It just didn't give me like that feeling, but I was obsessed with it. And I bought the 3rd book, but I'm wanting to read this one. I'm so excited I picked up Love You Finally by Lauren Lacey. This is book 2 in the Beverly Mills series. I have wanted to continue this series for so long, but I wanted to get this cover. You guys can see that this is like the cover that doesn't have people on the cover. I could not find this anywhere. And one of you guys actually tagged me on Instagram, and you showed me that you got all 3 books and they were with these covers, and I was like, oh my gosh, where did you get it? And you're like, oh, I found it on Mercari. I think that's what you said. And I was like, bet, I'm about to go get on there. And I went on there and looked and found it, which is funny because I looked a couple of months back, looked on Mercari, I looked on Pango Books, and I looked on Thrift Books, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So people are still like putting up books, and this is literally in pristine condition, which is how I love my used books. This was obviously used because the covers have been completely changed now. And I mean, I paid a pretty penny for this paperback. I paid like $30, but I was like, I don't care. I want to read this so bad. Book 1 was a book that reminds me so much of Love and Other Words. I will not shut up about Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, but I also will not shut up about Love You Always by Lauren Lacey. And I'm pretty sure the book only has like 1,000 reviews, but it is like a book that is soft and beautiful because the characters fell in love at such a young age, but also you see them falling in love at a young age, so they like are a mess. Like they have so much to work through. and navigate through and stuff. This book right here is about the sister. Now, the first sister was adopted into this family, so the two sisters in book one, and the two sisters of the main character in book one, they're both black, and so it'll be nice to see their story because obviously this is written by a black author, but the first book, she was adopted into that family. I think that she was white, so it was really interesting to see that dynamic because I feel like I've read stories where it's kind of flip-flop. Very, very, very beautiful story. I cannot wait to read this. This is definitely going on my TBR for next month. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely will see you guys in the next one. Comment below what you guys enjoy, whether you like the long videos, whether you like more videos per week, whatever you guys like, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.